All right, I'm Sam Topman. I'm here with Tim McKnight with the Global Center for Youth Ministry, and we're going to be talking about parents today and how to interact with those parents. We both have experience in this, and there's all different kinds of parents.
We both are
out
parents.
there. And we are both parents. Yeah. You want to tell about your kids? This is the moment.
I have 4 students who are my children, and 2 are now freshmen in college. They're 18. They're twins, boys. I've got a daughter who's 16, who is going to be a senior this fall coming up. And I have a daughter who actually, she's a senior now. Oh, man.
Yeah.
And she'll be a freshman in college. And then I have a youngest daughter is 11, and she just acts like she's in college.
Yeah. So, and I have 3 kids. I have a teenager, recently turned teenager. She's 13, going on 30. And so that's been fun. That's a new change in my life. Adjusting to that. She's a different person now. Like overnight, something happened, and it's not great. And then she's great. But then I have a 10-year-old, and she's in 5th grade. Prodigy, super smart, whiz kid, ADHD, life of the party. So she's fun. And then I have a 6-year-old who is enjoying kindergarten again this year, and so but he's doing fantastic. We held him back, but he's doing great now, and so that's our new life. So next year we'll have kids in 3 different schools, so that'll be a new challenge for us, but. In the youth group and youth ministry, you have all types of parents, helicopter parents, great parents that are they care about their kids and want to be there. And then you have kind of the opposite end of the spectrum, the kind of the non-existent parent.
That you don't see.
Right, ever.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one thing that when I think about parents, and, when we started youth ministry, we weren't parents.
Right.
I don't know of a parent that I've encountered that really says, I want to just botch it as a parent.
Yes.
I just want to smell the place up.
Yeah.
As a parent. Most parents, I would say 99.9 repeating, and this is not, hardcore statistics.
Right.
But most parents that I've encountered, and I think this is probably representative, they want to do a good job.
Right.
And so I think one of the things as we start approaching parents, for me as a youth pastor, I haven't always come with that assumption. And sometimes I came with an idea of almost better. Like I know better, or even though I was in my
professionally trained manager of teenagers.
Yeah, exactly. In my younger 20s, fresh out of college, right? So, so coming with that attitude's, already counterproductive, right? But then coming with the attitude of, this is what I'm trained to do, or because I read a book, or got a piece of paper that the school gave me.
Right.
Coming with that attitude, and then couple that with that I already assume that my parents are, just deadbeats who don't want to see their child succeed spiritually, emotionally, physically, that can be a bad combination. So I think part of the discussion when we talk about parents is how do we approach parents?
Can I offer just a key axiom to our rookie
Absolutely.
ministers?
Sure.
Just right off the bat.
Absolutely.
You do not know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I thought I did back when I was in my 20s, but now that I have a teenager, you realize really quick that you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
As a parent, I don't know what I'm doing. So.
I have no clue.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you just try your best.
Yeah, we're putting the plane together as we fly.
Right,
So,
right. Yeah. And I know for me in my ministry, we moved kind of from a traditional ministry to a family ministry. And that involved a lot of looking at our relationships and how we interact with parents.
Right.
And what I found was that a lot of times we were usurping their authority, and they may not be the strongest Christians or whatever, but we didn't give them a chance to be that.
Yeah.
And
then I became a parent of teenagers when I was a youth pastor.
Right.
I could give them back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We have the event or whatever. Hey, they're yours.
Yeah.
Now that I'm a parent, they stay at home. They're not moving. So I've learned more that I didn't know.
Yep.
Now that I am a parent,
Right.
but that's not discounting the young youth pastor who, is single, married, whatever.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have kids, and is not a parent.
Yeah.
Not discounting you if that's where you are.
Right.
Just trying to give you some tips just across the board, whether you're like us, you have teenagers in the home, or whether you don't have any children or whatever. Just some tips on how do we interact with parents.
And really, as a youth pastor, you're kind of put in a bad spot because they want you to be a parent, right? They want you to have kids, and you just don't yet. You're young,
Right.
A lot of youth pastors are anyway, and so you are in a hard spot. And you want to be in the parent club, right, with everybody else and be accepted,
right?
But I think you do have to have a perspective of, I've never gone through that irrational fear at the hospital where they hand you a baby and you're expected to.
What do I do with this? Yeah, yeah. And I think bringing in the team,
right?
Like bringing in my pastor, bringing in other parents who are mature spiritually,
yes.
Bringing in resources.
Yep.
Whether maybe there's a book that they can read, or something of that nature.
Right.
Looking at conferences that you can do for parenting.
Yep.
All of those things are things that can help the young youth minister to minister to the parents.
Right.
Because the parents look at us when I was in my younger 20s when I started in youth ministry. They're looking at me like, what can you bring to the table,
right,
to possibly teach me? Because they're right. I don't have a point of reference that they have.
Yeah.
I'm not a parent. However, I can bring them tools, or I can bring people from our team, or I can bring other parents alongside them to help them as they seek to equip that student. Yeah. So I think those are some things that we can do.
I think definitely giving them resources. One of the things I found was once we started giving parents more authority, all of a sudden they were like, well, how do I lead my kids spiritually? And so we had to provide them with resources and things, discussion questions, ways that, we still had kind of a traditional ministry in the, I spoke every week or whatever, but I started providing them discussion questions after all my lessons, messages that they could continue on to discuss with their students and kids, and then offered books and different ways to help them. But it wasn't ever a thing of, listen to me, I'm the expert.
Right.
It was a dialogue.
It's almost like a discovery process, right? Yep. Here's some tools I found. I just wanted to share with you,
And then another thing I would recommend too is, as you're doing events, don't just do events where the parents tag along. Even if you call it a mother-daughter event,
right,
make sure that it's for the mother too.
Right.
That you're actually offering things for them, and that they don't feel like a tag along, because eventually they won't come,
right?
Because there's nothing there, and so make sure there's engagement there. And like I said, we changed everything over, and I made events throughout the year where we're getting parents to interact with students, and I made my trips free for parents. Just anything I could do to involve them and engage them. And it wasn't a thing of overcommitting them. It's, hey, taste this.
Yeah.
See if this is something you might be interested in.
Yeah, I think you bring up a good point too, and I'll probably close out what I have to say with this, is that being sensitive to the parents financially.
Yep.
Because as we do events, as we do different things, there are some families who can't afford, my own family.
Right.
You got multiple kids. I've got four teenagers in the youth group. They go to camp. I'm throwing down, a good chunk of a month's salary just to send them to camp. And that's just one thing. Yeah. And so really being sensitive to the parents in what we plan, or in how we support them. How do we help their students succeed?
Right.
In being a part of the youth group,
right,
and participating in everything that they're doing, without really just causing a stress financially on the family. So
I think that's a good point to end it on. If you have questions about interacting with parents, or maybe you have some experiences you would like to share, make sure you add those to the comments below, and be sure to share this video, like it, whatever platform you're on. So we look forward to coming and seeing you again. We'll have a great topic next week.